Well, good evening. We are joined by Helen Marshall, the Borough President of Queens, and we have Linda Gibbs, our Deputy Mayor, Michael Gennaro, State Senator, Jimmy Van Bremer, who is hiding right behind me, Kathy Nolan, our Assemblywoman, Seth Diamond, who runs the Department of Homeless Services, and we are here at Long Island's City Newcomers High School, which has one of the 91 facilities that we opened today to accommodate New Yorkers during the current hurricane. It will be staffed around the clock by city employees, some of them on a volunteer basis. As you know, earlier today we issued a mandatory evacuation order for everyone living in low-lying Zone A areas of the city and for all of the Rockaways. We hope New Yorkers living in these areas find places to stay with relatives or friends who live in safer, higher areas. But if they can't, we are ready to accommodate anybody that needs shelter. And these evacuation centers and shelters, as you can see, are there for you. The essential thing is that you begin making plans to evacuate right now. Personnel who are authorized by a commercial or residential property owner to provide property security will be permitted to work within the evacuation zones at their own risk. MTA, our local mass transit system, will be shutting down bus and subway service tomorrow at noon, and once gale force winds arrive later in the evening, it is just going to be too late to go anywhere. So the mandatory order requires you to be out by 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, but from a practical sense, if you're not out tomorrow morning, you're going to find it very difficult to get out. I should point out that there are lots of things closing tomorrow. Broadway will be closed. The airports are closing at noon. Amtrak, I'm sure, will not be working. But the bottom line is, it is beautiful weather today, and that is the calm before the storm. It is very misleading. This is a very dangerous storm. Now, the best thing that could happen to us would be the storm turns due east and heads out to sea, and nobody has any damage, nobody has any inconvenience, and nobody's lives put at jeopardy. But that's not likely to happen. There will be, unfortunately, a serious storm coming in, and it's better to take precautions and get out of the way of the storm. Mother Nature is much stronger than all of us. Be happy to take a question or two if anybody has any, sir.
The past couple of hours,
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
The past couple of hours, the National Weather Service has said the storm is already tacked to the east, and now the bullseye is going to be over Suffolk County. New York's going to get hit, not as hard as you might have thought. The question is, do you think that the city maybe has done too much as far as shutting down the MTA?
Well, if we have to make a mistake, I'd rather make the mistake on the side of protecting people and property. And storms are fickle. They could turn back west. It would be great news if what you say is true, although we have to have in our prayers and our hearts some thoughts for the people on the eastern end of Long Island, where it's much more open and they're closer to the water typically. But the bottom line is you don't know, and if we have to prepare, and we have to prepare in advance, we use the existing forecasts and always also build in a little more protection. The MTA's problem is that it takes a lot of hours to shut the system down. They have to move all their equipment from low-lying areas and store them, and they store a lot of the trains on the tracks so that it prevents them from storing half the trains, and also operating a service. And then when the storm goes, even if it's just wind and rain, they're going to have lots of trees down and wires down, and it's going to take them a long time to get their service back in tip-top shape. What's going to happen, unfortunately, is their trains and buses are going to be in the wrong places from where they want to have them on Monday morning. And so Monday morning, I think we're going to have a very tough time using mass transit to get to work, and I would urge everyone to call their employer and all employers to have a good answer ready in terms of who has to come in and what hours they're going to be open. Yes, sir.
People in high-rises, some people seem to have perhaps a false sense of security. We're down in Battery Park. The city was saying, why do I have to move even if the water comes in? What would you say to them?
Well, the trouble is that the basements get flooded and a lot of the mechanical equipment and power equipment is in the basement. And if you had to get in or out, or if we had to get emergency service people there, an ambulance, a doctor, a firefighter, or a policeman, we probably couldn't do it. So yes, I'm sure you would be fine if you stayed in the upper floors of the building, but it's just not safe to be in a building where in an emergency you can't get help. And that's the answer there. Yes, sir.
Do you have any idea, any estimations of the monetary cost that the hurricane will have on the city?
You know, it comes on a weekend, so it doesn't do that much damage to the economy. The extra policing and all of the other things that we have to do in the grand scheme of a city with a $65 billion budget is very difficult to measure. Negligible is probably a good word. But keep in mind, what we're doing has nothing to do with the cost. We would do the same thing if it cost us a lot of money. Our first primary role is to protect the people that live and visit our city, and we are doing that. Yes, sir.
The reason you made the exception for security for property?
Yeah, I just think a lot of people will want to have security there, and so from a practical sense, if some are going to do it, we might as well let everybody do it, but keep in mind they do it at their own risk. We will provide police protection in all areas. We'll have police officers in cars going up and down the roads with loudspeakers urging people to get out during the day, and if they are out and the winds and the rains come, we need somebody to be able to interface with them, get them into a car, and get them to safety. So we'll do that.
Are you concerned, better yet, how do you rate how people are reacting to the so-called evacuation order? Do you think people are moving fast enough?
Well, it's very hard to tell. The only place we have real concrete data is yesterday we moved from the low-lying areas all of the people in hospitals, nursing homes, and seniors' homes, and it was done as smoothly as anything. There was virtually nobody that asked for an exemption. A lot of these organizations had plans in place already, and everybody was cooperative. The problem you really have is that when you look outside and the weather's great, everybody says, look, you know, it can't happen. But you just take a look at a weather map. It's coming in this direction. It is a big storm. And as you see behind me, we are ready. If we don't have to use any of these facilities, that'll be great. But that's not what we plan for.
This has never happened before, where people have evacuated for a natural disaster, correct?
Well, it may have been that they've done it from some low-lying areas before. I'm told this is the first time we had a mandatory evacuation from low-lying areas throughout the city.
And with that being the case, for you, how difficult of a decision was it to pull the trigger?
Well, you talk to all your advisors, you look at the weather forecast, and you say, number one, our priority is protecting people. Number two, we have an economy to worry about, and people want to be able to enjoy their homes and come to the city as tourists. But when there is a real threat, we're going to err on the side of taking the precautions. And some people will say you overreact. Some people, if there's a tragedy, will say you didn't have enough protection, didn't take enough time. You try to find something that's balanced. And keep in mind, this is a city with a great police department, fire department, office of emergency management, homeless services, buildings. All of these different agencies, we practice all the time, and that's why an evacuation is relatively easy for us in terms of moving seniors out and people in nursing homes and hospitals. We've done this every month. We practice all of these different possible scenarios, sometimes on a tabletop, sometimes actually out there in the field, making sure the equipment gets where it needs and that the personnel are trained and know what to do. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Yes, go ahead. Last question, sir.
Let's say the people come here, evacuate from the low-lying areas, and there's significant damage. How long is the city prepared to accommodate people in these shelters?
We will accommodate them as long as they need to be accommodated. All of our facilities are city-owned facilities. The staffs are trained. We'd have to shuffle people through, and our own staffs, they can't work 24/7. Eventually they have to get a little time off too. But, you know, we've done this a lot of times in terms of being able to accommodate people, and we certainly can do it this time. See you tomorrow morning. We'll try an update on the storm then. But let me once again say, this is a dangerous storm, and the fact that you had a beautiful sunset tonight and it was great weather is unfortunately perhaps lulling people into a false sense of security. Tomorrow, when the storm arrives, the winds and the rain will come very quickly. And with the mass transit system shut down, your options are going to be very limited very quickly. So so that we don't have disasters, please do not go to the beaches. The beaches are closed. Please do not go into the parks. When the winds come, you can have branches coming down and they can kill people. It's a good idea when the winds are here to stay inside, because no matter how careful we are in making sure that construction materials are tied down, and we've warned people to take furniture off of their balconies and those kinds of things, still there's going to be stuff blowing around, and you can have glass and windows and other paraphernalia being blown around. It can be very dangerous. So it'd be great if the storm goes elsewhere. It'd be great if the storm gets here and nobody gets hurt, and that's what we're going to focus on. Thank you.